Good evening, fellow members, and welcome to OMISTA Credit Union's 2023 Annual General Meeting. I'm Jack Lowe, and I'll be chairing the meeting this evening. Before we get to our official agenda, I would like to welcome and introduce you to Tricia Lever, OMISTA's Senior Marketing Manager and our moderator for this year's Annual General Meeting. Tricia will now share with you some basic information about how the meeting will work.
Always unmute before you try to speak. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to be your AGM moderator again this year. Credit unions are part of Canada's national network of financial institutions, but we are committed to our communities and local businesses, and it's you, our members, who I'm excited to have join us as we have a look at how you can participate this evening. So all participants, and I know you've heard this a few times if you were if you signed in early, but we do have a few people that have just joined us in the last minute or so. So all participants are automatically muted upon entry to the meeting. And if you wish to ask a question, you have two options on how to go about doing that. One is we ask that you raise your hand by clicking on the reactions icon at the bottom of your screen. And you would do that in the instance where you wish to be unmuted. And our production team will do that when they see your hand is raised so that you can pose your question. However, if you wish to type your question rather than speak it verbally, then we simply ask that you type a question mark into the chat box that's located at the bottom of your screen and hit enter. And when we see that question mark, that will alert us that you are going to be following up with a typed question in that same chat box, and we'll pause while you submit your question. And then lastly, there will be a number of motions this evening for which we'll be seeking a mover and a seconder. So if you wish to move or second a motion, we simply ask that you type the word move into the chat box located along the bottom of your screen. And the first response received will be considered the mover, and the second response we receive will be considered the seconder. And then we'll put that motion to a vote, and all OMISTA members are invited to participate in voting on the motions. So you will see a poll on your screen at that time and be asked to vote by choosing your selection. And now back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Tricia. As we begin the AGM, we acknowledge that OMISTA Credit Union carries out its work on the traditional unceded territory of the Wolastoqiyik, Mi'kmaq, and Pescatoo Makati peoples. This territory is governed by the treaties of peace and friendship, which these nations first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Wolastoqiyik title and established rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. We pay respect to the elders, past and present, and descendants of this land. We honor the knowledge keepers and seek their guidance as we strive to develop closer relationships with the Indigenous people in New Brunswick. Before I call the meeting to order, may I please call for a moment of silence to remember and honor members, friends, family, and colleagues lost over the past year. We also take a moment to be together in solidarity for the hurt being experienced in our world. Thank you. I'll now call the meeting to order. At all meetings of the credit union, 14 members shall constitute a quorum. Tricia, do we have a quorum?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we have 80 members in attendance.
Wonderful. With 80 members in attendance under our bylaws, a quorum is confirmed. Please take note that this virtual meeting is being recorded while presented. I'd now like to appoint Joanne Belleville, an executive assistant, as the recording secretary for this evening's meeting, as well as Gregory McLean, legal counsel with McInnes Cooper, as our parliamentarian. During the pre-show and immediately before the commencement of the meeting, instructions were provided regarding how to ask a question, move or second motions, and participate in votes. We are going to provide ample time for members to ask questions during today's meeting. We welcome your questions and participation in our meeting. Before I proceed, are there any questions or clarifications you may require on procedures? If so, to keep the process simple, please type a question mark into the chat box now, and our production team will unmute your line. We'll pause for a moment and await any questions you may have.
We don't seem to have any questions at this time.
All right. Provided in the downloadable meeting documents was a copy of the agenda. It's now displayed on the screen. If in order, may I have a motion to approve the agenda and permit the chair to change its order if necessary?
So we're looking for a mover and a seconder to the motion to approve the agenda. And just a reminder to do so, simply enter move into the chat box located along the bottom of your screen. So, Mr. Chair, the motion to approve the agenda has been moved by Karen Markovich Bailey and seconded by William Hanson.
Thank you, Tricia. Is there any discussion on the motion? If so, please enter a question mark into the chat box now, and our production team will unmute your line. We'll pause for a moment and await any questions you may have.
And there seem to be no questions at this time.
You should now see a poll on your screen. May I ask all members? May I ask all members to please vote in their choice? As displayed on the screen, the motion is carried. The agenda has been approved. I would now like to pass things over to Tricia, our moderator, for the introductions of our 23-24 Board of Directors and our presenters.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to make the introductions, and we'll actually start with the gentleman we have been hearing from so far in our meeting, our board chair, Jack Lowe. Next up, we have France Leblanc, followed by Rayanne Brennan, Shawnee Beaulieu, Pat Duffield, Ajit Gautam, Claire Fanning, Simon Pacey, Linda Schofield, Tammy Christopher, Asha Jamila, and Stephen Lund. This is your OMISTA board and presenters for today's meeting. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Tricia. We'll now move on to agenda topic 5, which is the approval of the minutes. The minutes of the 2022 AGM were provided in the downloadable meeting documents. If in order, may I have a motion for the approval of the minutes of the 2022 Annual General Meeting dated March 30th, 2023.
So we're looking for a mover and a seconder to the motion to approve the minutes of the 2022 AGM. Again, to do so, please enter move into the chat box. We have a lot of people coming in at the exact same time, so I will pick the first one I see, moved by Richard Valancourt and seconded by Nancy David.
Thanks, Tricia. Is there any discussion on the motion? If so, please enter a question mark into the chat box and we will wait a moment.
And there seem to be no questions at this time.
You should now see a poll on your screen. May I ask all members to please vote now by choosing your selection. As displayed on the screen, the motion is carried. The minutes of the 2022 AGM has been approved. We'll now move on to item 6 of our agenda. I'd like to call upon Linda Schofield, Chair of our Nominating Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, members of OMISTA. As per the current bylaws of OMISTA Credit Union's board comprise 9 directors. Typically, directors serve for a 3-year tenure and have the option of re-election with a limit of 9 consecutive years of service. At today's 2023 annual general meeting, the terms of 3 director positions are expiring. These vacancies each span a 3-year term and were previously held by Rayanne Brennan, Pat Duffield, and Jack Lowe. All directors are eligible for re-election. A call for nomination was initiated on January 2nd to fill these positions, with an initial nomination deadline of January 29th. However, on February 1st, Director Frances LeBlanc voluntarily resigned, having served 2 years of her 3-year term, thereby creating a 4th vacancy with a 1-year term. To address this, we sought legal advice from McInnes Cooper, which advised a second call for nomination to notify members of the additional seat. This call was made on February 8th and closed on February 16th. In total, 8 nominations were received and duly vetted by the committee, including Rayanne Brennan, Pat Duffield, Sean Green, Peter Kinney, Jack Lowe, Ketan Ravel, Roxanne Reeves, and Steve Smallwood. All 8 candidates proceeded to the election. We advanced our election process through partnership with our system partner, the Credit Union Executive Societies, by utilizing their fully electronic online voting platform, eVote. Members were able to easily cast their vote at home or in branch from March 1st to the 20th. With a record volume of member participation, the election results were received on March 25th. We extend our gratitude to all the candidates for their willingness to stand for election and desire to serve their fellow members. I am pleased to declare the following candidates elected through the democratic process. For 3-year term, Pat Duffield. For a 3-year term, Jack Lowe. For a 3-year term, Rayanne Brennan. And for a 1-year term, Roxanne Reeves. Congratulations to our newly elected directors. Mr. Chair, this is the report of the nominating committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda, and a warm congratulations to all of you. Are there any questions regarding Linda's report from the nominating committee? Please enter a question mark in the chat box for your questions.
And it would appear that we have no questions at this time, Mr. Chair.
All right, we're now at item 7 on our agenda, the presentation of reports. As in the past, we'll consider all reports at the same time. One motion to approve all reports as presented. Feel free to type your questions into the chat box as you think of them. Following the presentation of all the reports, we'll pause and answer all your questions. First, my report as board chair. Thanks to our hardworking and dedicated management and staff, we had another very good year, both financially and in terms of what was accomplished. Your board also had a very good year, but could not have done so without the continued support of your Chief Executive Officer, Tammy Christopher, your Chief Operating Officer, Sean McKinley, your Director of Finance and Risk, Asha Jamula, and our Board Secretary, Joanne Beliveau. I thank each of them for the dedication to your board's success and to that of OMISTA. I also want to thank my other directors, all 8 of them, for their commitment and enthusiasm in their work for you and the organization. I'm going to leave the details of 2023 to Tammy and her team, but I would like to highlight what I believe are some of, but not all, the achievements of the year. First, another significant positive bottom line. Second, the completion of the first year of our 3-year strategic plan, the overriding emphasis of which is growth. Third, the continued attraction of new and very capable people to our team. Fourth, an updating and complete revision of our employees' handbook with modern HR people policies. Jackie Jardine was responsible for this successful effort. And fifth, the completion of a huge 3-year project concentrated on improving our IT security, implementing standards developed by the U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, and which are required by our regulator. Now, ongoing adherence and reporting is required to maintain those standards. Thanks to Blake Reynolds for his dedicated work on this project. There will be 2 very exciting projects taking place in 2024. We will be moving our Cornhill Street operations to 1199 Main Street. This will give us an upgraded facility and more public exposure. And we'll begin shortly with a significant transition to a new core banking system, bringing us into the 21st century in terms of member accessibility, easier and more efficient banking, and the ability to offer many new and improved services. More on these projects later. Our world continues to provide more and increasingly complex issues and risks, most of which have direct and indirect consequences to OMISTA. We must keep abreast of these issues and risks and try to understand them. We want to mitigate those risks we have some control over and seize whatever opportunities the issues present. Some of the most serious issues facing OMISTA are interest rate changes, especially as they are expected to begin to fall, increasing regulation, increasing competition, industry mergers, and complex social issues such as housing insecurity. As your financial institution, it's important to understand that OMISTA is financially secure and stable with prudent lending practices, deep knowledge of its members, and stringent oversight by your board and our provincial regulator. You can be confident in your money being safe. We're a highly regulated financial institution with an 85-year history of strength, integrity, and resilience. In closing, I wish to highlight some notable accomplishments of OMISTA's CEO, Tammy Christopher. In 2023, Tammy made impactful contributions to critical discussions during Hike the Hill in Ottawa. On International Women's Day, she was featured on Canadian Credit Union Association's News Hub, recognized among several female board members from Canadian credit unions. Additionally, she was selected as one of the top 50 CEOs in Atlantic Canada. Quite an impressive year. I continue to believe in our future, and I know there will be many challenges. With challenges come opportunities, and we need to take advantage of these opportunities. Thank you. I'll now call upon Tammy Christopher, CEO, to deliver her report.
Thank you, Jack. Good evening, and thank you, members, for joining us tonight as we look back on 2023 and the accomplishments of our credit union. This past year, the Canadian economy experienced a mix of opportunities and challenges, influenced by domestic and global factors. As prices rose across the board, the overall cost of living in New Brunswick has escalated. The impact has been widespread, affecting individuals' purchasing power and their economic well-being. Throughout 2023, OMISTA has been mindful of this and has worked very hard to provide innovative solutions to support our members through this period of uncertainty. Despite the economic uncertainties, our net income remained robust, allowing us to continue investing in innovative products and services while maintaining a healthy capital position. This year, OMISTA was able to return almost $1 million to our members. We did this through our investment savings accounts, to which members received a greater than average or market rate for their deposits. We also, for the first time in a decade, we paid a patronage rebate to members based on their borrowing relationships with us. At OMISTA Credit Union, our members are at the heart of everything we do. In 2023, we continued to prioritize member engagement and satisfaction, seeking to deepen our relationships and better understand your evolving needs. We are pleased to report that our member satisfaction scores have remained consistently high. And for the 19th consecutive year, Canada's credit unions have received the overall Customer Service Excellence Award among all FIs in the retail banking sector. Our exceptional member service would not be possible without our incredible team of employees. During 2023, the following employees celebrated milestones with OMISTA. Please join me in congratulating Diane King with 5 years of service, Nikki Doucette with 10 years of service. Celebrating 15 years of service is Ali Clipperton, Amber Holleran, and Yvette Reed. Celebrating 20 years of service is Blake Reynolds. 25 years of service is Tracy McBean Fraser. And 30 years of service to Tom Saunier. And an incredible 35 years of service to Nancy Nowlin. Thank you all for your dedication to our members. Early in 2024, our long-serving teammate, Tom Saunier, retired after more than 30 years of providing wise financial guidance to our members. Tom has touched so many lives and guided hundreds of members towards achieving their financial goals and dreams. Tom, we thank you for your tremendous service. We wish you many healthy and happy years of a well-deserved retirement. As a community-based financial institution, we recognize the importance of giving back and supporting the communities we serve. Our work continues with Marcel Lebrun, who is the founder of the 12 Neighbors community in Fredericton. In addition to financial support, our involvement continues to evolve by providing financial literacy sessions to the residents of the 12 Neighbors community. We were honored to receive the 2022 Credit Union Cody Award. The award acknowledges credit unions who are excelling in areas of community engagement, financial inclusion, social impact, and the embodiment of the credit union values. Throughout 2023, our commitment to food security expanded beyond mere financial contributions of purchasing supplies for breakfast programs. Instead, our team went above and beyond and went the extra mile by engaging in year-round fundraising efforts to offer sustained support to Sunbury West, Hubbard's Elementary, Edith Cavell, Beaverbrook, and Birchmount schools. And this year, we were able to launch our first community grant program, which is aimed at empowering local organizations who are making a difference in our communities. I am delighted to announce that this year we awarded 2 grants of $10,000 to each to a deserving organization. The first organization to receive a $10,000 grant was Shelter Movers of Greater Moncton. The second was Tri-County Ground Search and Rescue, New Brunswick. These grants and both of these organizations will be able to further their missions and positively impact the lives of individuals in need within our communities. From sponsoring local events to supporting charitable organizations and educational programs, we have remained actively involved in initiatives that promote financial literacy, economic development, and social welfare. Our employee volunteers completed 8 Each One Teach One sessions within our communities. We will double this to 16 sessions in 2024. So if you know of an organization that could benefit from some financial literacy programming, reach out to schedule a session. These highly informative times book up quickly. Through these efforts, we aim to empower individuals to strengthen the fabric of our communities, fostering a brighter and more inclusive future for all. As we look ahead to the future, OMISTA Credit Union remains committed to our mission of simplifying the banking experience. We aim to prove that where you bank can change everything, and we will be the trusted and desired financial partner for our communities and local businesses. We will continue to make investments in technology, innovation, and talent development to ensure that we remain at the forefront of the financial services industry. Moreover, we remain dedicated to upholding the values of fairness, trust, and honesty. We care for our members and empower them to succeed. Thank you so much. I will now pass things over to Ajit Gautam, Audit and Risk Committee Chairperson, to deliver his report.
Thank you, Tammy. The Audit and Risk Committee at OMISTA Credit Union plays a vital role in overseeing financial reporting and internal control, with an expanding focus on risk management. Over the past year, significant progress has been made, defining the enterprise risk management framework for identifying, monitoring, and measuring risk, executing the capital management plan while performing risk testing and planning for the capital requirement to support growth opportunity. Evolving oversight for OMISTA cybersecurity program, monitoring interest rate and credit risk for the volatile and rapid changing economic conditions. I would also like to extend our gratitude to the Audit and Risk Committee for comprised of Claire Fanning and Ryan Brennan, Jack Lowe, Shani Bellevue, and Ajit Gautam. Acknowledgement is also extended to OMISTA team for their diligence. Together with the management and Audit Risk Committee, recommended the audit firm of Deloitte LLP to perform the annual external audit for 2023. The committee met with the external auditor to receive the audit plan and discuss in detail the risk areas to be covered during the audit. After a review of the audited financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2023, the committee recommended their acceptance on February 22, 2024. At this point, I would like to ask Stephen Lind, audit partner with Deloitte, to deliver the external auditor report.
Thank you, Ashit. Good evening, folks. My name is Steve Lund. I'm the managing partner for Deloitte in New Brunswick. And I'm a fellow of the Chartered Professional Accountants and an auditor licensed to practice in New Brunswick. We were engaged to audit the financial statements of OMISTA Credit Union for the year ended December 31st, 2023. The financial statements were prepared in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, or IFRS, and our audit was completed in accordance with Canadian Generally Accepted Auditing Standards. We have satisfactorily completed our audit and issued an unmodified opinion dated March 8th, 2024. Our report begins with the opinion and basis for opinion sections, which again are unmodified. The report outlines the responsibilities of management and our responsibilities as an auditor. I'll use this opportunity to thank the board of directors and management of OMISTA for their open communication throughout the audit process and look forward to working together in fiscal 2024. Thank you so much. And I think I pass it over to Asha.
Thank you, Steve. Good evening, everyone. Our audited financial statements, which attest to our commitment to transparency and accountability, were made available for download from OMISTA's website. We established internal controls necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error. Your board and management both consider these statements to be fairly presented. Now let's delve into the highlights of our 2023 financial year. We will begin with our statement of financial position, which is found on page 3 of the audited financial statements. This statement displays remarkable growth with assets from 362 million to 387 million, marking a notable increase of 24 million or 6.69%. We saw significant growth in our lending portfolio during 2023. Loans grew from 303 million to 312 million, an increase of 8 million or 2.79%. This growth was mainly in residential mortgages and commercial portfolio. Residential mortgages grew by 6.9 million and commercial lending grew by 3.7 million. On the liability side, the members' deposit account portfolio grew from 335 million to 354 million, representing a substantial increase of 18.6 million or 5.58% growth. Overall, the balance sheet of the credit union experienced significant growth in 2023 and remains very strong. Now turning on to our statement of comprehensive income on page 4 of the financial statements, we observe a noteworthy increase in interest income on loans totaled 15 million compared to 12 million during the prior year. This increase comes from portfolio growth and higher interest rates. Interest earned on our investments also witnessed a substantial rise, reaching 2.2 million compared to 745,000 in the previous year, primarily due to higher interest rates and increases in our investment portfolio. These investments include shares in Atlantic Central, our segregated liquidity, and short-term deposits with Atlantic Central. The amount of interest paid to our members for their deposits was $7.2 million compared to $3.8 million in the previous year. This increase is due to deposits repricing at higher rates than historically. The Bank of Canada's approach to addressing an overheated economy and inflation suppressing 2% has resulted in heightened borrowing costs for both consumers and businesses. This has directly impacted individuals seeking mortgages, loans, and line of credits, affecting their ability to secure credit and manage financial obligations. Furthermore, the housing market has experienced a noticeable impact from the increase in borrowing costs, leading to a cooling effect on mortgage demand. First-time home buyers and those with variable rate mortgages have been particularly affected by these developments. Now moving on to financial margin, net of the above totaled $9.8 million compared to $8.8 million increase over the previous year. Emphasizing our commitment to our members, we stood firm in our commitment to our members by refraining from increasing service charges. In contrast, our other revenue totaled $2.1 million for the current period, slightly lower than previous year $2.3 million reported in the previous year. Operating expenses rose slightly to $9.6 million, an increase of 9.87%, reflecting our ongoing investments in enhancing member services and operational efficiency. With before tax income of $2,251,000 and after tax income $1,607,097, we maintain a strong financial position for continued growth and sustainability. Now, moving on to page 5 is the statement of changes in members' equity. This statement demonstrates for us how the retained earnings of the credit union have changed. Now, moving on to page 6, you'll find the statement of cash flows, which essentially provides you with the sources and uses of cash for the year. This statement explains in detail how our cash position has changed throughout the year. And finally, beginning on page 7, you'll find the notes to the financial statements that will provide even more details on each line item of the statement of financial position. The notes also contain detailed information regarding OMISTA's significant accounting policies. Subsection 15 of the Rules to the Credit Union Act stipulates that credit unions must maintain an equity level no less than 5% of the total assets. OMISTA exceeded this minimum and ended the year with a strong equity position of 6.69% at December 31st, 2023. Our strategy for 2024 involves further enhancing our financial strength through issuance of additional Class AAA preferred shares. This combined approach of bolstering our equity position and offering more shares will solidify the foundation of the credit union and provide opportunities for future growth. Credit unions in New Brunswick are also required to maintain a regulatory ratio minimum of 10% of total liabilities in liquid assets. OMISTA exceeded this minimum and ended the year at 17.58%. In conclusion, OMISTA achieved remarkable financial performance in 2023. Thanks to the unwavering support of our valued members and the dedication of our team. Thank you for your attention. This concludes the presentation of the reports. Now, let's welcome our chair, Jack Lowe, back to the virtual podium.
Thank you, Asha. With all the reports now presented, we require a motion to accept the reports and financial statements as presented. Once the motion has been duly moved and seconded, we will open the floor to questions.
So we're looking for a mover and a seconder on the motion to accept the reports and financial statements. And we do have a mover and a seconder both. It was moved by Marc Duperron and seconded by Robert Christie.
Thank you, Tricia. We'll now address any questions from our members. Please enter a question mark in the chat box for your questions. While you're doing this, Tricia, did we have any questions come in during the presentation of the reports?
We didn't have any questions come in, but we definitely had some congratulations that were extended to Tammy for the accomplishments that you noted towards the end of your report, Jack, and also to some of our employees who are celebrating service anniversaries.
That's great.
We do have a question in the chat.
We have one that just came in, yeah?
Yep.
So the question is, are we able to access the strategic plan?
Yes, I guess I'm not sure what exactly the question is. The strategic plan is a significant document with many parts to it. But as I said in the beginning, most of the big parts of the strategic plan is to improve our growth, both in membership and in dollars. So other than that, I'm not sure if the questioner is looking for more details or specific items.
And that question is coming from Colleen Foreman. So Colleen, if you'd like to expand on your question, please feel free to do so. Or if you feel that that has answered it, then perhaps you can just let us know in the chat. And just while Colleen is entering her response, I will say that people are very quick on their keyboards with moving for the motion. So I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. And Colleen says, that is great. Thank you. Thank you for your question, Colleen.
Excellent. Members, we have a duly moved and seconded motion on the floor to accept the reports and financial statements as presented. You should now see a poll on your screen. May I ask all members to please vote now by choosing your selection.
We'll give it another moment. Please make sure once you select to hit submit and not just select for that to show up. We have 40% participated. We would like a few more people to go ahead and make their choice and hit submit. Give it another moment.
We do have a comment in the chat just stating that it disappears too quickly.
The poll should still be up there. If it's not, please, if you feel free to put your answer in chat as a secondary option.
Yeah, and it appears we have a few people agreeing with that it has not been open long enough and that it is now closed.
Okay, we have some Zoom gremlins. Are we able to see the results?
We're only seeing, from my end, we can only see that we have yes, 33 out of 33. The poll should probably go to 79.
Okay. So that's something on the back end we'll have to fix. So at this point, it looks like 100% have participated of those that were able to. Please feel free to use the chat.
Yep, getting lots of participation in the chat box with people sharing their vote that way. And I am seeing only yeses so far.
So yeah, we'll just take a few minutes to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to put something in the comments.
And they're still coming in. All yeses so far.
I just had a screenshot come in from our Chief Operating Officer that shows us that our members are able to see that 100% have voted. Things look a little different when you're in presentation mode, so we apologize for that.
So I assume if we've received 100% that The majority have voted in favor of the motion.
Could we have our tech support confirm that, please?
Confirmed.
Excellent.
Thank you.
The motion to accept the reports and approve the 2023 financial statements has been carried. Moving on to the approval of directors' remuneration. Item A, this is item 8A. As per our bylaws, Article 5.05, sub A, sub 4, at each AGM, we must approve the maximum annual amount to be paid to directors as remuneration for the performance of their duties during the current fiscal year. In the past, we have reported both director remuneration and expenses together. Included in note 16 of the audited financial statements, we have reported total remuneration and board expenses of just over $109,000. Of this total, $78,000 was specifically for director remuneration. To allow the board flexibility in the recruitment of qualified directors, we're looking to maintain the maximum amount of remuneration of directors to $125,000 for the 2024 fiscal year. We require a motion to approve the maximum amount of remuneration paid to directors at $125,000 for the 2024 fiscal year. May I have a mover and seconder?
So it has been moved by Richard Valencourt and seconded by Alison Clipperton.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Jack.
That's okay. Is there any discussion on the motion? Please enter a question mark in the chat box for your questions. We'll pause for a moment to allow time for your questions.
And I see no questions at this time, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Tricia. You should now see a poll on your screen. May I ask all members to please vote now by choosing your selection. And we'll leave that voting up on the screen a little longer than we have in the past. As displayed on the screen, the motion for director remuneration has been approved. I'll now call upon Ajit Gautam, Audit and Risk Committee Chairperson, for the appointment of the external auditors.
Thank you, Jack. The Audit and Risk Committee has evaluated the services provided by Deloitte LLP following the audit of 2023 financial statements. The committee and management are pleased with the services provided by Deloitte, and we are recommending that we continue with their services for 2024 fiscal year. Mr. Chair, I move the appointment of Deloitte LLP as OMISTA Credit Union's external auditor for 2024 fiscal year.
Thanks, Ajit. May I have a seconder to Ajit's motion to appoint Deloitte LLP as external auditors for the 2024 fiscal year?
And it has been seconded by Sydney Constantine.
Thank you, Tricia. Is there any discussion on the motion? Please enter a question mark in the chat box and we'll pause for a moment to await that.
And there appear to be no questions.
You should now see a poll on your screen. May I ask all members to please vote now by choosing your selection and hitting submit. Thank you. As displayed on the screen, the motion to appoint Deloitte LLP as external auditors for 2024 has been carried. Up next, we have a video message of greetings from Paul Masterson, CEO of Atlantic Central and League Savings.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to address you today at your annual general meeting. My name's Paul Masterson. I'm the CEO of Atlantic Central and League Savings and Mortgage. And on behalf of my boards, the management team at my two companies, and all the staff at Atlantic Central and League Savings and Mortgage, I'm pleased to bring greetings and congratulations on a very successful year in 2023 for OMISTA Credit Union and its members. Our region overall did pretty well in 2023. Our region did see some credit union consolidations, and we are now down to about 37 credit unions across our 4 provinces. Overall growth occurred in our credit unions, with assets growing about 7% year over year. Membership numbers remained relatively stable to past years. Overall, I think most credit unions had a pretty successful year in 2023, and I think are well positioned for success in 2024. I'd just like to congratulate the OMISTA team led by Tammy Christopher and all of her staff on a very successful year in helping serve the members at OMISTA Credit Union. And again, it's a lot of hard work going on in financial services today, a lot of change, a lot of significant issues. So it's not easy being the CEO of a credit union, and I think Tammy did a really fantastic job in 2023. So on that note, I'll congratulate you again on the successes in 2023 and wish you continued success in 2024. And again, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today.
Thanks, Paul, for your kind words. The coming year is going to be a significant year for OMISTA Credit Union. As I briefly mentioned in my chair's report, we have 2 very significant projects taking place in 2024. I'd like to call upon our CEO, Tammy, to highlight what we can expect for the year.
Thanks again, Jack. I'm going to take just a few minutes to talk about 2024 and an outlook for what you can expect as members. Over the past few years, the Canadian financial services sector, including credit unions, has undergone significant change driven by technological advancements, regulatory shifts, and the evolving consumer preferences. And it's crucial for credit unions to embrace these changes actively, to stay competitive, and to effectively serve you, our members. So let's take a look at some of the projects that we have slated for 2024. So with consumer preferences evolving rapidly, there is a growing demand for personalized financial services and a seamless digital experience. To meet the needs of both our current and our future members, we recognize the importance of investing in technologies and processes that align with these expectations. Recognizing this, OMISTA and the entire Atlantic Credit Union system are on a journey towards digital transformation. Our collective Atlantic Canadian system is in the process of converting from our legacy core banking platform to a new digitally enabled platform that will provide the much needed infrastructure required to propel us into the next era of financial services. Simply put, we are building better banking for our current and future members. This ambitious project aims to see all credit unions in Atlantic Canada migrate to a new banking platform by June of 2025. We have meticulous planning and execution underway, and the first phase of the switch has already taken place. The Bayview division of Brunswick Credit Union is the pilot for this project. They cut over to the new system just this past weekend, and the transition went smoothly with minimal interruption to member service. They have now entered into what we call hypercare, or a period of stabilization, where we'll monitor the system before the next credit union goes live with the conversion. Now, there will be several waves of credit union conversions between now and June of 2025. But for OMISTA, our conversion will take place in June of this year, and our preparations are in full swing. So we must ensure that we have accurate member data for a successful conversion. You may have already been contacted by an OMISTA team member to confirm your contact details, but if not, this effort is continuing in the coming weeks. If you receive a call or a request to update your information, make sure you remain vigilant and ensure that you are speaking with an OMISTA team member. You can ask them to confirm something that only an OMISTA representative would know. So for example, you could ask them what the last transaction on your checking account was. Only someone at OMISTA should know that, and you should know that. But if you're in doubt, make sure to hang up the phone and call us using the number that you find on our website. It's always important to take care of your safety when online. In April, we are going to begin communicating with members about what you can expect before, during, and after the conversion. You'll receive information via our website, as well as through physical mail and electronic mail. Please watch for these materials, as your engagement and awareness are vital to a smooth transition. Now, another significant project for 2024 involves the relocation of our Cornhill Street branch. We have made the tough decision to relocate in response to safety concerns raised by our members and employees due to the changes surrounding this neighborhood. After extensive efforts to find a solution with the City of Moncton and the province, we conducted a market analysis that focused on growth opportunities in the Moncton area, and it highlighted the importance of making sure that we were close to the downtown core. So following that, we did a business case, and the board and management decided to relocate to 1199 Main Street through a lease arrangement. The new location will offer easy access, ample parking, ground level entry, and significant opportunities for signage. I think you can see from the photo there's lots of surface to put lots of great signage on. We are going to be positioned near Von Harvey Boulevard, the Sobeys Shopping Center, and the Avenir Center. And we believe this move will attract new members and support our business growth initiatives. We anticipate a possible fall relocation date. Lastly, I'd like to touch on OMISTA's commitment to sustainability. As a B Corp, we're dedicated to the communities we serve, and we use business as a force for good. We're proud to present our first sustainability snapshot report, showcasing our impact. We're proud to present this to you tonight. And soon, we're going to be launching a partnership with Do Some Good that will, Do Some Good is a product, an app that we're going to be able to share all of our journeys along. So we're soon going to launch that partnership, and it will increase engagement with our members and our communities. It will raise awareness of our efforts, and it'll give us the ability to measure the impact we're having from a social perspective. Keep an eye on your socials for this. Throughout the year, you're going to have opportunities to join us on this journey. We're also committed to expanding our community grant program, increasing our involvement with the 12 Neighbors Project in the Fredericton area, and exploring additional ways to contribute to the well-being of New Brunswickers. Members, in closing, I trust you will see that we are proactively taking steps to embrace the future and are poised for growth while upholding our tradition of service excellence. We're not just an alternative to the banks. We strive to be the superior choice and demonstrate that where you bank can truly change everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy. There's certainly much to look forward to in 2024. Do we have any questions related to what Tammy has just presented? Please enter a question mark in the chat box so we know to unmute your line.
Just while we're waiting to see if there are any questions that come in, we did have a comment about something that Tammy spoke of in her report, and that was in relation to the move to 1199, I believe the address is, on Main Street, and congratulations on that. And we do not have any other questions at this time.
All right, I'll ask if there is any new business to come before the meeting this evening. Should you have any new business, please enter a question mark into the chat box. Members, we welcome your comments and invite discussion. This is your opportunity for an open conversation on any topics that are important or top of mind for you. Tricia, do we have any questions or input from our members?
There's nothing at this time, but maybe we could just give it another few seconds to see if we have a hand that is raised. Again, that's if you'd like to ask your question verbally or just a quick question mark in the chat box. And that way we'll know to wait for you to type your question in. And I see no raised hand and no question mark at this time.
All right, thank you, Tricia. I'd now like to thank the directors who were, the director who is leaving the board. The board of directors plays a critical role in guiding the credit union's direction, ensuring financial stability, managing risks, representing members' interests, and fostering accountability and transparency. Their leadership and oversight is essential for the credit union's success and sustainability. Tonight, I would like to express our gratitude to François Blanc for her exceptional contributions to the OMISTA board over the past 3 years. France joined the board in 2021 and has been an active member, serving on several committees, including chair of the Governance Committee, chair of the Sustainability Committee, and vice chair of the board. Her wealth of knowledge, skills, and forward-thinking approach have greatly benefited our organization. As executive director of Hospice of Greater Moncton, your commitments are extensive and we appreciate your active involvement on our board. We extend our best wishes to you and your family. Although your tenure on the board may be ending, we recognize that our connection will endure. As a dedicated community leader and supporter, we believe our shared values will continue to align and our paths will intersect in the future. Thank you, France, for your outstanding service to OMISTA. So we've reached the end of our agenda. Before I adjourn the meeting, I would like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their participation this evening. I would also like to extend our gratitude to Amber Richards and the team at Amber Effect Events for their exceptional behind-the-scenes work during this meeting. Amber Effect Events is a local Moncton-based business specializing in the delivery of high-quality corporate events. Amber and her team have become a trusted partner for OMISTA, and we thank them for once again delivering an impactful AGM. And now, as I adjourn the 85th AGM of OMISTA Credit Union, I wish you and your family safety, good health, and prosperity. Have a great night. The meeting is adjourned.